Big Bobby is back. Lashley made his return on Friday Night SmackDown, but we could also see the return of a familiar faction because Lashley wasn't alone. It was teased that we could see the Hurt Business back in business. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Friday Night SmackDown. We seen the return of Bobby Lashley. He came out the limo. He was looking smart. He was looking good, but he might not be alone, because who was waiting on Bobby Lashley? Who was waiting on the return of Big Bobby? It was none other than the Street Profits. They were waiting on Lashley, and they got Lashley. We seen Lashley get out of the limo. He was speaking to the Street Profits, and I'm going to assume they got down to business. Now, could that business be the Hurt Business? Because Bobby Lashley was teasing a while ago about reforming the Hurt Business, although maybe it's not going to be the same Hurt Business that we're used to in the past. It could be a brand new Hurt Business with brand new members. Now, last time we seen this stable, it was made up of Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. But we got to be honest, guys, Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, they're not exactly going anywhere in WWE. Shelton Benjamin's been around now for a very, very long time. He's coming towards the end of his career, and Cedric has just never really had any sort of character, any sort of personality. The guy's okay in the ring. He's a 205 Live kind of guy, but he's not someone that is going to be in a stable. He's not someone that you're going to look at and go, wow, this is an important member. Oh, this guy's good. This guy is a main event talent. I certainly never seen that in Cedric Alexander. And as for Shelton Benjamin, you know, the guy was mid-card basically his entire life. He wasn't all of a sudden going to start being a top guy when he's in his mid-40s. So I can kind of see why they would push Shelton and Cedric to the side. It sucks for them, but I kind of see why. Now, with the Street Profits, I think the Street Profits are very charismatic. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but I do think they're passable. I think they're okay, and I think this could definitely help the Street Profits. The fact that they'd be getting teamed up with Bobby Lashley, a legit main eventer, someone that should be challenging for the world title, I think it would definitely help the Street Profits to be in the Hurt Business, and it would certainly give them a push. It would give them a rub, because if Bobby Lashley is a main eventer, then that means the members of the Hurt Business are also going to be in the main events. Therefore, it works for the Street Profits. I also think it works for Bobby Lashley, because he's not the greatest talker, and I think that when he is surrounded by other people in a team, I think he looks even stronger. I think he looks even better. I do believe that Bobby Lashley does need a manager, or maybe not need, maybe needs the wrong word, but I think he definitely is better with a manager. Although, do I want to see MVP? Do I think MVP is the fourth piece of this puzzle? Not necessarily. You know what? I think MVP he's not the man I remember. I really enjoyed MVP in his last run. I think his recent run, where he was with Almost, has really sucked, and I'm just a bit bored of MVP. I think we've had the same thing from MVP now over and over again, and if they do need a fourth member to be a manager, and who knows, maybe they don't need 4, maybe they only need 3, or maybe they could do 5. I'm not saying they have to stick to a certain number, but I don't think I really want to see MVP in the Hurt Business. We've already seen him betray Bobby Lashley. Would it make sense for Bobby Lashley to go back with MVP, since MVP has already been with Almost? Now, I guess you could bring Almost in as well. What if the Hurt Business consisted of Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, MVP, and Almost? Would that be good? Where you've obviously got Bobby Lashley as your main event guy, you've got the Street Profits as your tag team, and then Almost could be that enforcer. Maybe that gets him out of wrestling, but he can still be a menace, he can still be a badass, he can still be the guy that basically destroys people on the outside. Maybe that dynamic could work with the 5 of them, or maybe they could go down a different route. Maybe they could add a female to the group if they wanted to. Personally, if she was still in the company, I think Sasha Banks would fit in really well with the Hurt Business. The fact that she is the boss, she could be the boss of the Hurt Business. Maybe not necessarily the leader, but, you know, she could play a big, important role. I think Sasha Banks would have fit well in the Hurt Business. And before anyone goes, why are you naming black people? Because so far, It's only black people that is in the Hurt Business. The Hurt Business kind of reminds me of the Nation of Domination. And yes, I get it. There was a couple of white guys in there at the beginning. They kind of adopted Owen Hart into it. But still, the reason I'm going with black people is because it looks like it's a black faction. Therefore, I think they will stick with just black wrestlers. And I think Sasha Banks would have been a good option. If you take Sasha Banks away, if you take MVP and Omos away, who else could the Hurt Business put in there? Who else could they fit into the group? Depends if you're looking for a man or if you're looking for a woman. What about Apollo Crews? Not doing much at the moment, pretty much doing nothing at the moment. Could he be someone that fits in there? Potentially. There is other people in NXT. I think there are several people they could put in, but I don't want to see Cedric, to be honest. I don't want to see Cedric, Shelton or MVP back in this. Bobby Lashley had his run with those guys. I would like this to be completely new, completely fresh, and I think the best way to do that is just to have one original member from the Hurt Business. And for me, that person should be Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is a legit main eventer. He's a legit fucking ass kicker. This guy should be competing for the Universal Championship. Obviously, that can't really happen at the moment because Roman Reigns is holding the belt hostage. And when he does show up, he's currently in a feud with the Bloodline. And it's probably going to be a long time before Roman Reigns defends the belt against anyone outside of the Bloodline. I wouldn't be surprised if he has multiple matches with Jay. I wouldn't be surprised if he has a match with Jimmy. And then after that, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some multi-man Bloodline match. And then possibly he'll get in a feud with Solo Sikoa. So even though Raw has its own championship now, I still do feel like Roman Reigns is basically ruining the world title scene on SmackDown, because at the moment there is no real world title scene. It's just the world title is being incorporated into the Bloodline storyline. So yeah, I think that is still harming Bobby Lashley. In an ideal world, Roman Reigns wouldn't be the champion anymore, and we could have Bobby Lashley, we could have Edge, we could have guys like that, LA Knight, we could have those guys competing for the world title on SmackDown. Hopefully it does happen, and hopefully the Hurt Business does reunite. And you know what? I'm digging it. Lashley and the Street Profits. I think this could be entertaining. Definitely could be interesting. Street Profits have a lot more charisma. They're a lot more entertaining than Cedric and Shelton. So yeah, I do think this could work. Anyway, guys, let me know down below, who would your fourth member be? If you had to put a fourth member into the Hurt Business, who would you pick? Who do you think on the roster would be the best bet to align themselves with Lashley and the Profits? Let me know in the comments down below. I will catch you in the next one, guys. Been Fog Wrestling. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And of course, until then, peace.